Originally, the Tennessee Alliance for Drug Endangered Children was started back in 2006, and it was around the methamphetamine epidemic. But along the way, it kind of lost their momentum. They really, I don't feel like, had the infrastructure to continue the programming. And then in 2018, we applied for the OJJDP grant. It was truly like winning the lottery for us. I mean, when you're already trying to develop these programs and build this working relationship within the communities, and then you have some funding, then it really makes a big impact. So that's how we were able to hire the Drug Endangered Children coordinators on and to start working within those coalitions. Our program is Opioid Affected Youth Initiative, and we're all about the drug endangered children. But all children are drug endangered children, whether it's impacting your family directly or within the schools or within the community, that all children are drug endangered children. So we have to be aware that not only are we not stigmatizing these children and labeling them as drug endangered children, but we're providing resources and outreach for all children.
Drug endangered children in our community is very unique, I feel like. I have been raised there my whole life and had already been plugging into other nonprofits, and I was a hairdresser for 17 and a half years. So I really got to learn people and different personalities, but then also too, I got to learn the different needs and the hurt that was there. Also being one of those people. My first marriage ended in a divorce at a very young age, and I was the single mom with a baby, and we had no idea where to even start to get my ex-husband help, and much less resources to explain to my child what was happening in her life. Luckily, through the grace of God, we were able to navigate those waters, and that was one thing I never wanted anybody to have to feel, because what you're looking at is children who grow up who never were able to heal from their hurt or their trauma, and then their children had to pay for that as well.
Usually our target person looks different, but especially in communities where we have drug endangered children coordinators, they already have the built-in connections. So they've already worked to establish really strong connections with their law enforcement or with their school district. So when we're going in, we're not starting on a blank slate. They have trusting relationships, and so they're willing to entertain a new program and see what that looks like for them. They also know what won't work for them, and so we're not just taking a approach that kind of with on one size fits all kind of situation. They're able to bring the people to the table a lot more quickly. If we have issues on the ground, they're able to respond in a more timely manner.
In that, he can kind of tell like what the kids are using right now.
Trends, just current trends.
So what's the newest?
So today, this is today's. This is the first one I've seen like this. It's THC vape. This test doesn't even say that there's any THC in it unless it's over the legal limit. So to test it, you're gonna take the test, and you're gonna break the tabs, which has chemicals in it, and you're gonna shake. So I have an app that when I start a test, what does that say?
Oh, wow. Positive detection.
Yeah.
THC over.
Over 0.3%. Yep.
So this creates a case file for me. So I can use this for my case file when I do make a charge.
Dixon County is located about an hour west of Nashville. It's a rural community, but it's growing pretty quickly. I come from a family of educators. My grandfather was an educator, my mom was an educator. Growing up in Dixon was a great childhood, but on the periphery, there was always talk about drug use. I could see the effects of it. I actually had firsthand experience with people that I knew falling into substance use, and just how those generational cycles are perpetuated. Thanks to the OJJDP Opioid Initiative, it's been a huge game changer for us. It's allowed us to identify children and intervene for those children and change the trajectory of their lives. It's allowed us to connect professionals with resources, and it's also allowed us to educate professionals as well.
The law enforcement game has changed. The majority of my enforcement has been in drugs. And I would say I've evolved with it. We've watched the trends and the drug trends come down the pipe. The biggest example of that I could say would be methamphetamine. Historically, we would have just looked at, okay, it's meth, and this is how it's going to impact the individual. We didn't really look any deeper than that. It really changed our world in terms of an enforcement and took us into a whole new level.
I think many cases we think that somebody who is in a certain role may know something that we also know, but that's not always the case. So as the debt coordinator, we have great opportunities that this funding has allowed us to educate the people that we work with. For example, law enforcement, we've been able to educate them on childhood trauma. So the funding has allowed us to educate and empower. All it takes for a child to escape those generational cycles of addiction is one caring adult. And if I can be that one caring adult that child looks back years later and says, because of some small thing that he may not even remember, I was able to break that cycle. That's why I do what I do.
Here in Winchester, Tennessee, Franklin County, I mean, it has its bright spots and not so bright spots, but I've been here my entire life. There's been a lot of things that's changed. I mean, I can remember when I was a kid up on the square, Franklin County as a whole, and then seeing how addiction comes into play and how it more or less destroyed the entire community. After being in long-term recovery, I look back at it and I look at, maybe it's from the trauma that I endured when I was living up here in the apartments, from looking at the family abuse, not having or knowing who my real father was, having an alcoholic stepfather that was abusive. Whenever I first got clean, I met people, and they was trying to tell me that, you know, God's got something else greater in store for you, or you're gonna be a preacher and this and that. And I'm looking at them like, you don't know me. Like, what are you talking about? But they saw something in me that I didn't. So me being on this side, I see a lot in people that maybe that they don't. And I think that my gift and my job, my duty, my passion is for me to help them to see what I see in them. I haven't smoked a cigarette in almost 10 years. Actually, I have 17 years clean. Next month, on the 27th. And I think that right there is probably the best experience ever, is having that relationship with my daughters and raising them. I won't even say raising them. You know, I do what I can do. I do the best that I can, but them jokers are raising me. You know what I'm saying? And man, that's a beautiful thing, is knowing that without a doubt that they got somebody that they can depend on.